I have been trapped in Lahaina for the last 4 days. And I experienced firsthand what was going on there. What I went through is not important. I need to get this message out. This was not a natural disaster. This was a direct energy attack on the people and the place of Maui.
Hey everyone, sorry for the 6-month hiatus. I've been saving lots of videos for a bigger video project like this one. I'll be showing people's stories and those who got called out on social media for misinformation when it's actually malinformation. The malinformation is information that's harmful to the government, so social media is censoring people who talk about it. This video is about Maui and how it's no longer a conspiracy. I'll be showing footage of DEW lasers, the color blue being protected by the lasers, the government killing their own people for land, the elites going along with it because they're bought and paid for. Nothing's a conspiracy anymore. In this video, you'll be hearing the Maui resident side of the story. The part that the government and the police don't want you to know. Don't go into this thinking, it's a big conspiracy, watch the whole thing and make up your mind. But regardless, something's going on in America and it's about killing their own people for profit, land, and power. I do not own any of the footage that you're about to see, I'm just the messenger here to spread the message. And for the record, and any government looking into this video or reading or doing whatever, I, Evil One, am not suicidal. I'm saying that for my own protection. I am not suicidal. Thank you, and enjoy the video.
If you know what lives there, what descendants live there, you know why. And you know why it happened on 8/8. And if this is not something that you believe, it's time to stop being a sheep. They came in and they took control. There were trees standing and the buildings gone. This system, this weather system, came in from the mountains, from the east. That does not happen. They were not telling people anything. They were not letting people in to help. And they were letting people go in to get burned alive. There were people burning alive in the streets. There were people dead in the water. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of people that died. What they're telling you in the news is not true, and I lived it firsthand. I sat with the people. This is not to bring fear, this is to educate, because there is darkness that is being hidden. And soon people are going to see. I know now why Gaia sent me there. And I am going to use this platform. There was no warning. There was no nothing. Please boost this post. I want everybody to see this. I don't give a fuck about me. I want everybody to see this. What they're telling you in the news is not what happened. And they knew to do this on one of the most powerful, energetic days that we've ever had. 8/8. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. And there will be justice. There will be justice.
Already thinking about ways for the state to acquire that land so that we can put it into workforce housing.
Let me get this straight. The houses burned down. Most of the trees are fine. The governor is talking about how to acquire the land and turn it into smart homes. Am I understanding correctly?
So we all know what happened in Maui. And we all know how they talk to each other throughout the world. So is this them back in 2019 telling us exactly what they were going to do? The mountain in Maui. Direct energy weapon. Maui burst. Or am I reaching? Let me know what you think.
Listen what she says.
She said all of a sudden the lady across the street started screaming, "Help, help, I got a fire coming up under the ground."
Under the ground.
So he ran over there, stretched his water hose across the
How's fire coming up from under the ground?
It kept coming popping up. Everybody screaming.
Oh my God.
And Carol started screaming from the backyard saying, "Charles, I need you, come back here. God. Come, Charles, hurry, Charles." Hartley says,
"Oh my God."
School was canceled.
Let's go! Start there! Go!
The people who, from their own
Go, bro. Yeah, go! Come on. Come on, baby.
can't do everything.
Come on, baby. What the fuck?
This is what it looks like. It's a devastation.
Let's go! Damn, it's hot. Just go down. We're good. Motherfucker. Quick. Yeah, good. Oh my God, dude. Okay, it's okay. We're almost to the end of the meal. We're almost to the smokes now. Oh, we made it. We got a line in the room.
It does seem pretty odd, doesn't it, that the expensive homes somehow were just untouched. Homes that belong to the likes of, Oprah, Bill Gates, Lady Gaga, Jeff Bezos, Will Smith, Julia Roberts, still standing and in perfect condition. Just a little too precise for me, and I'm still gonna say that this all seems a little bit too fishy. Oh, and did you also know that John Peliater, I don't know if I'm saying that right, who is Maui's chief police officer, was also the commander of the Las Vegas shooting?
See how long this pole's gonna hang in. Or this thing's gonna go up top. Everything's ringing out of the power. That's a nice gust right there. That one's pushing 70 feet. Ooh, that might do it. Oh, look at that. That's the big Captain Locks on the bottom. Holy guacamole. As you can see over here, all these power lines have snapped now. We were looking at them earlier. I was just telling the boys on the fence line that these were going to snap, and sure enough, they did. Yeah, so this is gnarly.
The powers that shouldn't be would like you to believe that the crimes against humanity towards the people of Maui and the Kanaka in Lahaina, Kula, and Kihei is simply a natural disaster resulting from, according to their psychotic governor Josh Green, quote, a fire hurricane, something new to us in this age of global warming. Maui Police Chief John Pelletier said these fires, quote, melted metal. He also just happened to be the incident commander for the Vegas shooting in 2017. What a coinky dinky doodle. These fires were the result of DEWs, directed energy weapons, as predictably programmed on this Mountain Dew DEW Maui Burst beverage. Natural wildfires do not melt the glass and metal of cars, disintegrate entire structures into white dust while leaving trees and umbrellas untouched, travel at 60 miles per hour, cremating human beings, look like footage from Hiroshima, have books published about them 2 days after they start, and coincidentally take place on 8/8, an occult number representing the acceptance of necessary endings and change, as well as the day the Lionsgate portal is officially activated as the sun, the star Sirius, and the earth all come into alignment. It's also what the pyramids of Giza in Egypt align with as well, so yeah, it's a pretty significant date. This is UN Agenda 21 and 30 at play. Lahaina was the royal capital of Maui, and the locals there, as well as Kula and Kihei, have been refusing to sell their precious land for years. A major problem when you want to turn Maui into an island entirely governed by AI and a 15-minute electric grid smart city. My heart and prayers go out to everyone who perished and those suffering, as this one is beyond evil, guys.
You think for 1 second that these wildfires that are happening in Maui are just natural disasters, then you're about to be in for a rude awakening. How is it possible that we have cars literally melted into the ground, yet trees are still intact? I'll tell you how this is possible right now. It's called direct energy weapons. Check this video out. Now, I know that was quick, but they're doing their best to scrub these videos from the internet. People caught this on camera, them hitting Maui with high-power lasers. If you truly believe the mainstream narrative, you have no idea how far you are from the truth. And here's the after. Look at this. There's still green on the trees, yet houses are incinerated. It does not make sense. Do you guys know about the Weather Modification Act signed in 1976? When you hear climate change, it's these people that are causing climate change. You think it's just a coincidence that these properties were highly sought after by major corporations to turn them into 15-minute smart cities? How is it the military is denying people from bringing in supplies and trying to help? Do you think it's just a coincidence that the governor passed a bill about a month ago that can take away the land of the people if they need to rezone? Seems like certainly convenient measures to rezone, eh? These fires have the exact same similarities to the fires in California. Everything absolutely incinerated, but trees still standing. Now, I know it's extremely tough for people to use their own common sense and critical thinking, but all you gotta do is research Agenda 2030, research direct energy weapons, research weather control and the hundreds of patents they have on it, and you'll see the truth. Wake up, people. Peace and love.
Well, the question is around public trust.
Well, first and foremost, if you're relying on social media, with all due respect...
That's just an example, sorry.
Well, that's the example you used. Yeah. It's a terrible example because social media is the worst source.
Well, sir, you just have to go out and talk out people out of the street.
I think you'll let me answer the question as governor. Doing reporting through social media is idiotic. Doing reporting in person is intelligent. I'm glad you're doing some of that. We also, as you can imagine, are speaking to people constantly. Everyone is speaking to me through my cell phone. Same can be said of our local officials. We're local people like you described. Don't use social media to judge these questions. You have people who are predators on social media. We know that for a fact. You have people who want to spread negativity. I think you're aware that in this state, for the last going on 5 years now, I and others give you raw data on these crises. Very few other municipalities do that kind of thing. We give you updates constantly. You can say all you want, that there's public mistrust, but then when the people go out, whether it's people restoring power or the firefighters or the police, we are watching them be
The sooner you realize there is no coincidence, the quicker you're gonna wake the fuck up. Nobody finds it odd. This is the same police officer that led the response team in 2017 with the Vegas massacre. Same dude. Thank God I'm not the only one. A woman in Maui called him out straight up.
Here. Maybe it's different for you because you just got here, huh? So it's not the same. It's not the same. No comment. You have to look up on photo.
No comment right now, guys.
No comment?
This woman's got some stones, man. She sees right through the bullshit and she's asking the questions, but guess what? No comment. It's so weird these high-ups can say no comment to any question. It is all connected, and I am begging you to wake the fuck up.
I've just been informed that we are shutting down this placard distribution as of now. Please. There are powers that be. I'm not sure of the reasoning. All I know is the order has come down to shut down the distribution of these placards. That's all I have for you.
I don't know. I wish
yes,
I knew
you
the answer.
do. How many children are missing? You
I
know.
wish I knew the answer to that. I would be happy to answer that.
You have no estimate as to how many children are missing?
I guess
Nothing?
we can end this right now if you guys want. Sorry,
This is one of the biggest questions that the people of Lahaina have, but you don't want to answer.
It always takes one or two to ruin it for everybody.
Please, this
That's
is our
what
first
happens.
this is our only
Well, we
opportunity
could say
to-
that about you. You ruined it for everyone.
You're welcome to say it. I mean, you're the media. You can say whatever you want.
You're a disaster.
All right. Okay.
Please.
Sorry.
You've been the worst mayor we could
Try not to
possibly
listen to-
imagine.
You won't even wait.
Respect.
for your turn.
Respect what? This is the most dismal response we've ever had.
You won't wait for your turn. You want to shout over these guys that are legitimate.
Why don't you give them the
are
real
legitimate
answers
media,
then?
so.
Give them the real answers.
That's not his question.
Let him.
Yeah. You can go. You can go. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Social media calling out investors and real estate agencies who are offering to buy their land just days after wildfires burn down their homes. Fox 26 News reporter Sophia Lesios is here now to explain why Hawaiians are furious with companies who they say are preying on them following the tragedy. Sophia?
Liz, many Hawaiian natives are advocating online and encouraging homeowners to not sell their properties to companies. And instead, they're telling people to gather as much information as they can to shame blast real estate agents on social media.
Please don't leave. We're going to figure this out.
Many Hawaiian natives, including Tiara Lawrence, have been advocating for Maui natives since the beginning of the devastating wildfires. She's furious with companies who are now reaching out, offering to buy native land.
How dare you do that to our community right now?
Lawrence says she's heard from multiple families who were contacted by agents in the last week.
Shame on you. Shame on you. If you are a Maui realtor contributing to that, karma's gonna come and get you.
Did you know that the Hawaiian island of Maui has the largest outdoor siren emergency warning system in the entire world, with over 400 alarms? But while the most deadly wildfire this century in America raged on, they never used the alarms. According to PBS, the wildfire burned for almost 3.5 hours. Maui is Hawaii's second largest island and has 80 outdoor sirens. 80! And not a single one of them was used. Here are some quick facts from CBS News on this warning system. The largest single integrated public safety outdoor siren warning system in the world can be used for natural and human causes, including wildfires. Oh my God. Each siren has a range of 3,400 feet, which is the distance of more than 11 football fields. The largest fire burned more than 2,100 acres of land. An acre of land is just over 208 feet by 208 feet. So if you do the math, this is over 400,000 feet wide. You mean to tell me not a single one of these 80 alarms would have been relevant in a 400,000 foot wide span of distance? Wow! Oopsies, I guess.
These fires, I'm joined now by
Listen to this.
Born and raised in Lahaina, and has been working tirelessly over the past few days to raise money and resources for those who lost their homes. I wanted to bring her on the broadcast tonight because I want to give our viewers across America a sense of what people are dealing with on this island.
You're not going to believe this.
As we were approaching you, have. I want to ask you because I couldn't believe this. Realtors, people in the real estate industry, are calling your family and your friends who have lost everything to buy their plots of land.
It is disgusting. We have real estate investors and speculators going around calling our victims, offering to give them cash and buy their property. It is disgusting. It's a land grab, and I know that our Lahaina community, we are resilient, and we will do whatever it takes to protect Lahaina.
Unbelievable. Now they're going to try to buy the land out from under these people and displace them. What's wrong with these people in the world?
One of the big concerns as they search for the missing and the dead is that Lahaina doesn't lose its spirit, right? That people from the outside don't come and rebuild and turn it into a tourist mecca.
We've already been displaced enough, and we plan to have a seat at the table in rebuilding Lahaina and ensuring that the rich cultural history of Lahaina is protected and that the multi-generational families get to come back home.
Good. Hold your ground. Y'all hold your ground.
For viewers.
Again, Lahaina's not for sale. Keep Lahaina lands in Lahaina hands.
You go, girl.
Let's say on a small island in the Pacific,
people's minds here.
Hey, what's up, Nick? I've been trying to reach you. Been reaching out to you on X. You're supposed to be meeting with people here. What victims have you had?
Okay, yeah. So this is so you're seeing this live right now. People actually tracked me down.
I thought you were staying in a tent. You said you were coming and staying in a tent, Nick. You're taking up resources.
I'm not taking up any resources here.
Never met before. We are a community that relies on family, on ohana, whether by blood or by friendship. But like many others, my son's home burned down. My daughter's home burned down. My home burned down. My parents of 59 years home.
Wow, he's finally here! Wow, yeah, awesome. Yeah, thanks for nothing. You. Hey, right here, you, Joe Biden, you.
I was in my truck going to check on some customers' properties, and all of a sudden all the roads were being blocked off right in front of me, and from the cops, and I would go to the next street and that would be blocked off, and the next one, and they just blocked everything off forced everybody down on Front Street, in which then the flames were coming over our vehicles. I was going down the highway and they blocked it off and wouldn't let me go any further. They stopped us from going up on the bypass.
So you couldn't go up the bypass?
No. And then all of a sudden they said, get off this highway, go down this way, down into town. Then they started blocking everything off there, and then you were down on Front Street. And
so you got corralled onto Front Street?
Yes, couldn't go anywhere. They just said, go north, go north, go north. And we're all in a line trying to get to the end of Front Street to go north, like they told us to, not knowing that the police blocked off the end of Front Street so nobody could move. And then everybody panicked. Everybody went up on the sidewalks and through yards, took out the other lane. And then all of a sudden nobody could move anywhere. The cops were moving around one exit, so I ended up getting up on the highway, even though they tried to direct me another way, and then I hightailed it to home.
With Casey Wong. Top story, Santa Barbara. 10,000 acres of wooded residential land were scorched in an instant when a laser cannon aboard the Strategic Defense Peace Platform misfired today during routine startup tests. Casey?
Yes, it was a day of mourning for the families of 113 people known dead at this hour. Among them, 2 former United States presidents who had retired in the Santa Barbara area. A day of mourning for a country.
Of şuralar ateş. Bak, of. Ah 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 ah. Ah ah of of. Of Allah'ım.
What are you blowing the whistle on?
Directed energy weapon systems is something that people need to get into their vocabulary fast.
The world's first airborne directed energy weapon, the airborne laser, also known as the ABL. Just mounting the ABL requires one of the most sophisticated and elaborate modifications in history. The entire nose section is removed and retrofitted, and the world's largest titanium plate is installed to hold the enormous turret-mounted laser in place. The ABL system is designed to find, track, and destroy an enemy target in the air and on the ground. It can loiter at 40,000 feet for 5 hours, refuel in midair, and destroy a target 60 miles away in less than a second.
Good luck. Look at this. Holy shit. This is a nightmare. I don't know where he's going. Probably to block our street. They're gonna fucking barbecue all these people down in Lahaina. We're all trapped down in here. They're blocking off all exits. And everyone is just stuck. Going in a circle in a fire pit.
Oh my God!
Something's on fire!
Hey, no, something's my big toe. Bro, I just shit hit.
Why the heck are celebs all painting their Maui properties the same weird shade of blue? Rumors have swirled since October 2022 about Lahaina's elite painting their homes a unique shade of blue. Not just any blue, mind you, but an exact shade. Sounds like a quirky celeb trend, right? But what if there's more to it? Let's delve into the science of lasers, or as they're ominously termed, dews. Why? Because there's something interesting about a specific shade of blue and these energy beams. Here's the science. Certain energy rays interact differently with various colors on the spectrum. Some colors are more resistant or reflective, protecting underlying materials from harm. Remember those untouched umbrellas amidst the Lahaina devastation? Skyscraping trees untouched by disaster can be explained away. But how do you justify these seemingly invincible umbrellas? They're not just any umbrellas. They're blue, that exact shade of blue. Is there a connection between this specific royal blue shade, possibly dubbed the Mother Mary blue, and the dews? Could Lahaina's celebrities have insider knowledge, giving their homes a blue shield against these energy beams? This Lahaina blue mystery might be more than just a color trend. Dive deeper, ask questions, and always be curious. What do you think? Coincidence or a coded message in a hue? You decide.
Apparently over 1,000 body bags in massive containers and refrigerated trucks on the other side of the island right now. The government's trying to blame them. They didn't sound a siren. There was no helicopters that came. People had gone and picked their kids up from school and brought them home and left them home. There was a 10-year-old girl with a crib with a baby in it. There was no warning. No military came. The whole community is mourning the deaths of over 1,500 people. They killed innocent men, women, and children by not helping, by not sounding alarms. People were asleep in their homes with their babies and their children.
Do you want to expand upon that?
So what I've heard is that they pulled the water out of the pipes to fight the fires,
Sure.
and then they put the water back in the pipes or from some other source, and now it's toxic.
We have a mutual friend he's a bit of a conspiracy theorist, and he's been going on about how the Maui fires were caused by direct energy weapons. And since I have technically a miniature direct energy weapon in the form of a laser, this is a 1500 watt laser, so tiny in the grand scheme of things. I just want to show him that that's ridiculous and it doesn't work. So you see that red dot right there? That's where the laser beam is going to shoot, and it's not going to do anything. See? He's an idiot.
The safety's on.
Shit.
Now we're hearing reports that over 2,000 children right now are unaccounted for in Lahaina public schools 2 weeks following the fire. And this is according to the Hawaii State Department of Education. This is not according to a TikToker. This is not according to Twitter. This is according to the Hawaii State Department of Education, who is documenting who's showing up in school and who isn't. So for anybody out there that tries to snoop, so we'll come out here and they'll try to say, well, we're fact checking this with our BS meter and we're going to just automatically deflect on any stories about it. Well, then maybe you should turn to the people you look up to the most, which is the government, who are even admitting in Hawaii that over 2,000 children have not shown up yet to school. Now, we all obviously have heard reports from so many people in Maui, so much so that even local media outlets have picked up on the story, claiming that the numbers that they're giving in regards to the amount of people missing is nowhere near. In fact, the number seems to be edging closer to the amount of people that we lost on the 11th of September. Yet you don't hear this pumped and pushed as a national tragedy. Why? Well, too many people were too suspicious of what they saw with their own eyes.
We busted our ass, and this is what we get? Nobody called us. Our phones didn't work from 5 in the morning. The fire was not 10 o'clock when I went to work. The fire was still there. There was no water. Tell me if that's coincidence. No water, no warning, and everybody talking about the satellite city before the fire. Lahaina gonna be the first satellite city. Well, hey, Jeff Bezos, you got what you wanted. Oprah, you got what you wanted. And the guy who owns the nut, you got what you wanted. Fuck us all over. That's what happened. We need help in Lahaina. Who's gonna come now and ask us, can I pray for you, Auntie?
Thank you.
Can I help you with your paperwork? Because all we got so far was $700, and we don't know who to call or anything. It's culturally insensitive in that zone.
It's up there and between St. Clair and Marysville. What the hell is that? Lighting up the whole sky that way. Never seen nothing like it, man. Crazy. Well, let me get back to sawing this wood and pole barn and get back in the house.
Apple has put out a new warning telling people not to sleep next to iPhones while they are charging. The tech giant's latest iPhone user manual says, quote, do not sleep on a device, power adapter, or wireless charger, or place them under a blanket, pillow, or your body when they are connected to a power outlet. Instead, users should keep iPhones, power adapters, and any wireless chargers in a well-ventilated area away from the body when charging. Otherwise, the phones risk generating too much heat and sparking fires.
Lying about the reality of the Lahaina fire is incredibly frustrating for me because I am the media. I am the editor of Maui Times, and I have tried relentlessly to get direct information from the County of Maui as well as the Maui Police Department. Both entities have been radio silent and have not responded to any of my calls or emails over the past few days. I also spoke to Maui police officers in person in Lahaina, and they all denied me my First Amendment right to freedom of the press by denying me access to Lahaina town as well as denying me information. They even sent me on a wild goose chase trying to find their media coordinator, who had conveniently gone home for the day by the time I found where he was supposed to be. So it is not the media who is lying to you, because I am obligated to only report what has been confirmed. Who's lying to you is the government entities who are trying to cover their asses and not take accountability for how grossly mismanaged this entire situation has been. Maybe if we make this go viral, I'll actually get a response from them.
Take a look at some of the fires that's going on. Pay attention. These are all the fires that's going on right now in America. We're going to go through a lot of these, and I'm going to show you what's going on in these states and why there's fires. In Texas, there's a fire around this area, which is close to Austin. Live from Austin, Texas, the Smart City Challenge. There's fires in Washington. Lawmakers from Washington State push for a Smart City bill in Congress. What's outside of Phoenix, Arizona? Scottsdale. City of Scottsdale, Smart City Strategic Roadmap. Wildfires in New Jersey. New Jersey Smart Cities Working Group. Fires in New Mexico. Smart City planned in New Mexico. Wildfires near Portland, Oregon. Smart cities planned for Portland, Oregon. Wildfires in Florida. Smart city initiatives for Orlando. Wildfires in Mississippi. Smart cities planned for Mississippi. And this isn't just happening in America. There's fires in Greece. Smart cities plan for Greece. Y'all, I could have gone on and on with this, but I think you see the pattern.
So, this is really weird. You remember how FEMA was blocking people from bringing food, water, and gas to the people in Hawaii? Well, the water that FEMA has been supplying has been making everyone sick. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, though. And not just that, when they signed the FEMA paperwork to actually get help, they literally forfeit the rights to all their property. Those pesky property owners they wouldn't sell. And this Illuminati card game that came out decades ago means nothing, even though the ground has a literal burn mark that would be caused by something. Maybe something like this. Or this. They think you're stupid. Do you want to see just how stupid they think you are? This is how stupid. Biden, we are laser focused on getting aid to survivors. Nice choice of words. Gaslighting skills, 1 million.
Almost what you would see if you put a car in an incinerator.
But this is not surrounded by a bunch of structure fires or anything.
Yeah, there's no fuel.
So besides the gas that was in the tank, what's your theory on what could create temperatures of this level in the middle of a field?
Anomaly, I think is the word.
So this is the second anomaly.
Yeah, it's just that's why I stopped. I looked at it, I'm like, okay, house. Nothing's burned, and then you have melted steel and glass, and then the only thing that is left is the steel, the thick steel frame, and then the steel sheet metal.
So I don't know if you guys have figured this out yet, but the media has not been given access to Lahaina town. Everything is locked up. Matter of fact, this gentleman next door, he was on Front Street yesterday and he was supposed to get access, and then the mayor shut it down because people were taking pictures. So they don't want pictures taken of anything in Lahaina town because they don't want you to see this would be my guess. Because the more that you take a look at this, and especially in this scenario, if there was a car like this in the middle of Lahaina, you might think to yourself, well, okay, it was in the middle of this major burn. There's an animal that died here or something. I'm smelling that
must be a cat that was under there.
That smells like a dead something.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so sad. Nuts. Like when you see this, you're just going to be like breaking. It's going to break science. If you're a scientist and you understand anything about temperatures and melting points, what we're about to show you is going to change, in my opinion, the whole direction of this entire investigation. From what I'm being led to believe, and it just makes logical sense, right?
Yeah, it's almost like there's an incinerator nearby and they just dropped the car off.
Right, so I'm going to turn the camera on what we're walking up on right now. I want you to notice there's a vehicle that's been here since the beginning. It wasn't dropped off here, obviously.
Look at the chair's not melted.
You can see here
it's sitting in the middle.
This is the highest the burn got, right here. It did not cross the highway. If you look over here, this is the bypass. You can see none of that grass is burned over there, so start to draw some logical conclusions.
Oh, look at.
We're going to show you some more things as we're walking along here.
How did that not?
I want to share with you the videos I've come across that will never be shown on mainstream media, such as the videos we saw yesterday where only blue objects were spared from destruction from the fire. The FBI says there are no identified minors among unaccounted and missing people. After hearing this, a former U.S. Army officer had questions.
What I read this morning was truly shocking. This is literally probably going to go down as one of the worst natural disasters on American soil, but also really one of the greatest mysteries. And it needs to get solved, and it needs to get solved now. Take a look at this.
Okay, this is the Hawaii News Now website, and if you look at the date, it is August 22nd. They're talking about the missing people and getting an updated list, but look at this. Says, I'll zoom in, the list also includes no identified minors, even though children are among the victims.
Island, where last week, just before the fires, the cameras at this bird sanctuary captured a bright flash. Staff believe it's a tree falling on a power line. Shortly afterwards, flames can be seen in the forest. Ross Hart saw something similar before his home burned down.
We could hear some trees falling here and there at the distance, and one big one fell here on the bridge, and it knocked over the power lines.
And then you saw the house, you could see it burn.
I saw it begin to burn, and they wouldn't let me stay to watch it. They're dragging me out because the embers were starting to come over my truck and stuff.
Pay close attention here. This isn't conspiracy bullshit. It's easy, simple math. Somebody's lying. Something doesn't make sense. You got 2,000 children missing from Lahaina schools reported, but in the same report, you say 850 people. What is it?
Police officer that was over there, he should be investigated. I was told by people who escaped there on foot that the officer had blocked the road. People could not get out. My brother literally had to go cut the chain off of the old sugar mill camp area to let people out at the top of Kilauea Mauka because the roads were all blocked because the police were blocking it. We want accountability. It needs to be investigated by a third party that is not associated with the government. I was blocked out several days. I could not come in. It was chaos. People was rioting. What's on those documents for FEMA? I'm an attorney myself. There's so many things that are questionable that has happened here. Right after that, the governor says, oh, I'm going to take the land. He's talking about the state wants to purchase all this land, that he should get this land. This land belongs to the people already. Okay. The government is liable for this, grossly negligent, at least if not criminally negligent. They should clean up all that land, restore that land to the people who own that, because they failed.
Everything blue, Lahaina burning down. A lot of things that are blue, for some reason, stood the test of the fire. The blue boat was the boat that survived. You got this blue car, and these homes had blue in it. I mean, it gets weird. This is the home from Hurricane Dora that survived, and the owner name was Dora. That little blue car right there. You'll see a lot of this blue imagery. This is what's interesting. There's this laser, and it only catches fire to other colors, but not blue. So I had to look it up, and it's because it's a blue laser. It's a blue laser, and that's why it didn't burn the blue. First, you got this little turquoise type blue house, but here's another blue house. This one's painted blue. This is blue, and it survived. Here alone, you can see the blue and red, but you can see a lot of different blue that survived. Right here, blue survived it. The cloth, the boat that survived in the ocean, and these are all just the mainstream articles showing this. The boat was blue. The car that survived, right, it's still blue. And I mean, this is what they showed in the mainstream news. And shout out to my friend, Dana. She pointed this out.
Interesting. The garments we may consider to wear can significantly reflect laser light, thus potentially minimizing any possible harm. Are those endowed with fluorescent or reflective elements? Such materials have the advantageous property to either give off or rebound the laser lights, thus curtailing the heat and potential damage inflicted by the laser.
If anyone is wondering why the direct energy blast to Maui didn't affect anything that was blue or white, take a look at these pictures. If you were in control, would you want the people that you're sending in to take over to be injured? If you notice any of this color blue, all those colors of blue, totally ignored by the fire and the direct energy blast. Those are the shades that aren't affected by direct energy. It's at 666.2 terahertz. Defeats lasers.
I found the video of the cargo helicopters in Maui during the time of the fire. Check this out. They can hold up to 55 passengers. Now, I want you guys to look at this. I'm going to show you the picture for comparison. But this was going on when they say no one was flying and no one was in the air. There were helicopters, and this looks exactly like a cargo helicopter, military. Take a good look.
Let's do the comparison. Here's some models. Of course, there's different models that they make to carry certain things. But what do you think was really going on, guys?
Mira, mira la pinche láser, güey. La sombrilla azul. Mira. La sombrilla azul.
We're going to get there, and that's why in the Mint we have investigators. We have it's not just MPD, but it's also FBI, it's also Honolulu PD, it's also, we got folks from Big Island that are assisting at the perimeter, and we're doing data scrubs, and so, or sorry, or I guess we're drilling down. If I say scrub, I don't want to think we're washing something away. We're drilling down.
Google Maps has updated its images of Maui, of where it was burnt. So I want to show you the images, but I want to show you one spot first of asking, how did this place get set on fire? You see the buildings are burnt there, but there's dirt all around here. In fact, there's even the baseball fields of where it's green with grass, while these other areas are burnt. This is how far away it was, is almost a quarter of a mile away. So how did fire burn that place down, but not the grass? Or what about this spot where there's 2 burnt cars? Y'all have seen the video of that. Because as I zoom out, you see that the buildings and everything are fine in the area. So how did they burn so bad that it was like molten metal? Why is realtors going onto YouTube in the areas to where the fire took place, showing houses that stayed and houses that was burnt down? And as you see him pan to this one, well, what is this? This is grass with a burnt down house. In fact, look at this one that I just paused on. There's a kid's toy, plastic, still sitting there. Grass, but house is demolished.
What kind of shirt survives a fire like that, I wonder? A shirt that says Sister Revolution. Hard to believe, huh? The whole building goes down. The whole street goes down, and then these shirts survive somehow. The Sister Revolution. A lot of them, actually. It's crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to auction these shirts off.
Testing, releasing viruses. They're testing, cutting off pipelines and gas and fuel and creating inflation. To create the angrier world to then organize the starving masses into launching their great reset that is the controlled collapse of civilization. So there's a cover-up in Maui, in Lahaina. They know that they didn't trim the trees. They know the trees and bushes fell on the power lines. They know they let the power on. They know they turned the water off. They know they didn't issue the alarms. They know they let the whole thing happen. And then the police chief who ran the Vegas cover-up, in my view, we know that thing was a cover-up, he's magically there right after they failed to buy the town out from under the people. They're saying the town's worth $5.5 billion. But once they build high-rise hotels, it'll be worth 3 or 4 times that. And we already have the governor announcing that's the plan, and Oprah and all the rest of them. This is disgusting. And Hawaii is the greatest example of a bunch of billionaires, over 100 of them, that have moved into all the major islands and are pushing everybody else out. They want it as their own private preserve.
120 million tons of lithium in Maui. I don't think we need to wonder why they did what they did there and why it happened. We all know computers are getting big, cars are getting big, and lithium works for batteries. It wasn't an accident, people. Somebody with some money wanted some more money.
This is a video that shows tunnels and walkways, stairwells under Maui. Questions have been coming up about missing people, specifically missing children. This would be a great way to move people around without anyone seeing. But that's not the intention of me sharing this video. Although that could be a potential, I hope and pray that that is not the case and that missing children are found. But I wanted to talk about these tunnels. This is not just under Maui. These tunnels exist all over the world, under every city, probably right under our very feet. Introducing Victorian Hyperloop, or Old World Transport. This is related to a hidden empire called the Tartarians, and this is supposedly a transportation system all around the world. Now, this system would have functioned with magnetic fields or vacuum tubes. Imagine a pod in between these tunnels controlled by vents and natural airways. This potentially could connect major cities with people and goods and resources. This was an idea that was brought up in 1812, which was then brought up again by Tesla in 2012. This isn't the first thing Tesla has copied from Tartarian technology. Where do you think electric cars came from? That's not new. Nothing's new under the sun. Let's check my resource.
Have exciting news. Springfield Nuclear has electric solutions to all of your energy needs. The Springfield Hyperloop.
Project was created in collaboration with Lieutenant Governor Josh Green and the help from community members to build several communities of tiny homes across the island to combat the state's homeless population.
Around the world, we're seeing these homeless camps being built. Very strange camps. Around the world, these little cabins are going up, and some local news crews didn't do the best job of covering up the open pipes leading into each of the cabins. Complete with an air pressure PSI indicator, there's a manual turn lever and an open pipe that would allow nefarious officials to easily pump noxious or incapacitating gas on a cabin-by-cabin basis, allowing precision attacks against their desired targets. And I can't shake this sinking feeling in my gut that maybe these are extermination camps. This may be a way to clandestinely kill certain, quote, undesirables and or sterilize them. Remember what we just went through. The Australia government was forcibly putting people into concentration camps, quarantine camps. We have a hot mic recording of a guard telling somebody that they'd get fucking gassed if they didn't calm down.
So it sounds like they want this guy to stay here longer, which is concerning for me because he's stayed here for 14 days